original OG, right? Original OG. That's saying a lot. And if you know anything about her, man, this is Talky Tina, man. Talky Tina, man. Okay. Where am I at? Okay, where am I at here? I had to pull myself. Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Talky Tina, man. Now let's get into this one, because this is one of the earliest examples that I saw a doll that I'm like, uh-oh. This is really the first time. Now, Talky Tina first appeared to us in the classic Twilight Zone episode, The Living Doll. This is a great piece. I do remember Telly Savalas being as a great actor. He's been gone for a long time now, but his movies is what he worked. Telly Savalas, was that Telly Savalas? I think so. I feel like this is Telly Savalas, and now I'm not sure. Whoever this guy was, he's a great actor, right? He did a really good job interacting with Tina. So Tina is a living doll. So she's a little different. She's not a possessed thing. She's actually a living doll, as far as I can tell, right? She's not quite like Chucky, but she moves in different. She looks like an ordinary doll that they get for his little girl. What's her name? Christy. Yeah, that's her name. For the little girl, Christy. They get her this doll, and immediately, she could talk, which is this is revolutionary in 1963. Because you pull her, and she'd be like, I'm Talky Tina, and I like you, right? Which is all cool. I'm Talky Tina, and I want to be friends with you, right? And all that stuff is good, right? All that stuff is good. This is classic for Rod Sterling, man. Like, to give up love to, one of the real OGs of putting out this. This character would be all good, right? I'm Talky Tina, and you're my friend. And that's funny, too. Until she says, I'm Talky Tina, and I don't like you. And you're like, wait, what? What'd you say? What'd you say, Tina? And then she's like, yeah, I'm Talky Tina, and I'm going to kill you. Now I got to pay attention. Now I got to really pay attention to what you're talking about. And rightfully so, the husband was like, yeah, I'm going to kill you, but you can't. That's the thing. She's got invulnerability. Why does she have invulnerability? How many dolls down there got invulnerability? Are you guys aware that the dolls that you guys are making are invulnerable to physical damage? That's a big question here. So she is fully a supernatural spirit, whether it's a spirit in the being or this is a natural evolution, I'm not sure. But Tina has full awareness. These are her powers. She's capable of seeing, hearing, and understanding at a high level everything that's going on around you. Seems like she's only been in existence for a year, but she understands complex relationships and human psychology and also threats. This is the most advanced 2-year-old doll or year-old doll I've ever seen ever, right? And again, this little hoe right here, man, this little heifer right here, she goes to psychological attacks and shit talking. This is the difference between her and Annabelle, right? She also delivers psychological attacks. She knows exactly what to say to destabilize what's around her, right? And she talks shit at the same time. Like, she's fully adept. She got a very foul mouth, and she knows you can't do anything to her. She's also damn near immortal. Like, destroying Tina is impossible. Who's making these things? Like, why are you making these dolls like this, and you're giving them personalities, and they're also, you can't kill them, right? So her mortality, places her outside of the range where she can do some stuff to you, but you ain't gonna be able to do that stuff back to her. And that, of course, is the problem, right? Because you don't play fair, Talky Tina, and I see that. So she's different. She's comparable to Chucky, but Chucky's open violence, whereas Tina's like bad boys move with silence with violence, right? She's gonna be subtle, she's gonna be patient, and all of a sudden you're gonna trip downstairs and not gonna know why, and then she's gonna be on the floor laying down like, I'm Talky Tina, and I told your bitch ass, right? That's how she gets down, right? She's very stealthy. Dolly Dearest, that's another one, right? But this is rooted in our old fears and stuff like that, right? This is old fears. This is the animated object, and throughout history, we've always been wary of animated objects, idols, statues, effigies, right? We've always been cautious of that stuff coming to life, because it did used to come to life, and it'll be a problem. Looking like Egyptian mythology, right? They have statues that they believe had spiritual presence. Greeks had stories of living images. The Greeks had objects that were awakened after long existences. So you got all these cursed dolls and effigies in European tales. So this is the old school story. This is the uncanny valley where she looks human enough to be similar, but not human enough to feel safe. Like, yeah, because I don't like you staring at me like that. I'm glad they made you like that so we can know exactly who your crazy ass is right off the bat. Now, let me also say, in Tina's defense, right? In Tina's defense, Pops at the crib was stripping. He was being unnecessarily mean to the little girl and the wife with his words and hurting people's feelings all day long. And Tina kind of came in to regulate that shit, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that was her only purpose, but I know she regulated that. Whether she would have been evil later, I don't know. And that's a situation where you could have politicked and be like, you know, when she says, I'm talking Tina, and I don't like the way you've been treating Jamie and their mom, and I feel like they could do better, and I feel like you're devaluing them because she's a single mom with a daughter in a tough period in the 60s. And you could say, you know what? I realize now that you could talk, and I need to respect it. Like, first of all, I appreciate you talking to me like this, because now I understand that you can talk, and I'm not crazy, and I need to assess this situation. And I'll be like, look, here's how you do it. You know what, Tina? You're right. You're right, Tina. But that all changes right now. You're 100% right. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to show this little girl for her sake, because we both want her to have a good family home. And the best chance of her getting that is right here, right now, with me and her mom getting this thing fixed out and making this a loving family like she deserves, like you're telling me to do. So you know what, Tina? I'm not even going to sit up here and keep talking to you about what I'm getting ready to do. I'm getting ready to put that in action. And I'm going to go out and immediately start showing love for this little girl, right? Who wasn't a bad little girl. I think it would be easier if you put aside your anger. Maybe I could politic this with Tina. I don't know necessarily that she was bad, because it sounds like, yeah, okay. You know, you're going to have to let her take Tina wherever you go. You can't separate them now, right? Because they're going to kill you over that too. But whatever. Now you got a friend to the end. That's what Chucky said. Now I got a friend to the end. You want a friend to the end until the end don't never have no end to it, right? But this is where Annabelle is going. Like, 'cause she don't leave no witnesses, man. She don't leave no oopses behind. She ain't Britney Spears and stuff, right? She is not joking with you, right? And it's a terrifying story. Like, Tina overall, because it doesn't last as long, he dies by the way. He gets killed, by the way. But I feel like, whereas Annabelle, I can't necessarily work nothing out with you. Tina, possibly. I think if you love the little girl and you want me to treat her right, you would be like, okay, if you do something again, I'm gonna kill you. And I'll be like, that's fair, Tina. That's fair, because I'm gonna be on A1 behavior with that little girl and her mom, who was not bad looking. I'd have been on. I mean, you did marry her with the daughter, so like you kind of gotta act right? And if you marry a woman and she's got a daughter, you're gonna have to buy a doll or so. Like, that's what little kids like. Little kids deserve toys, right? They like to have toys. I did, right? My thing was my I had mentioned I had a crane. That was my thing, and I had a $6 million man toy as well. I did have a Steve Rogers $6 million man toy, but you could look all the way through his head, so I didn't feel like he was coming to life at night, right? I felt safe around him. I meant to say Steve Austin, man. Some OGs like gonna grill me over that. I didn't mean to say Steve Rogers. I meant Steve Austin. Okay. So these are my theories. Like, Tina herself was not merely a haunted doll. She was perhaps the prototype for all modern haunted dolls. So before Chucky was stabbing, she was doing her thing. Before any of that stuff was coming along, it was Talky Tina. She walked so Chucky could run. That's the math. Like, in Chucky, your little disrespectful ass need to go back and give props to the OG that did all the work, that paved the roads that you walk on right now, Chucky. The first warning comes from Talky Tina, and we should have listened back then. But it gets more so. It gets even more in depth, right? Because, like, man, okay. I'm not even gonna talk about you, Chuck. I'm not even gonna talk about you, Chuck, right? Like, where are you at? Why are you not? Okay. Oh, let me move you out of here. Okay. Off of